the genetically engineered alternatives are not there. And even if they were, they wouldn't be desirable. We have saved, over the last 25 years, 3,000 varieties of rice, hundreds of varieties of beans, of wheats, of barley. And in the rices, India used to have 200,000 rice varieties before the Green Revolution. And I just, had the surge that we've got to give safe haven to everything. We don't know what will have a role. To 1998, we had a super cyclone in Orissa. The salt-tolerant rices we had saved were able to bring back agriculture. 2004, we had the tsunami. We could carry 2 truckloads of salt-tolerant seeds from Orissa to Tamil Nadu. It was also taken to Indonesia. These seeds had been declared useless because in the industrial breeding system, all that matters is high response to chemicals. The quality of food, the nutrition, its resilience to climate change doesn't matter. But today climate change is a big issue. And of course now, the same companies that earlier said destroy these traits, you don't need them, are claiming patents over what they have not evolved. There are more than 1,000 patents on climate resilient crops. I'm not in Nagoya, where the Convention on Biological Diversity is meeting right now, but my colleagues are from all over the world, and one of the big issues is to stop the privatizing of our common defense to climate insecurity. And that's why in Navdanya, what we do is create community seed banks to defend seed in the commons, to defend biodiversity in the commons. Because everyone knows that which is vital to life cannot be privatized. And yet, our economic system has allowed it to happen that what is vital to life can now be privatized, whether it be seed or it be water or it be air, because the climate negotiations led to these emissions trading schemes, where you trade in pollution. Trade in pollution is in effect owning the atmosphere. The polluters get to own the atmosphere and trade amongst themselves. I've written about this in my book, Soil Not Oil. So the biggest challenge for us right now is to reclaim our commons. And you can't have commons without community. So the part of the debate that's missing in this issue of big government is the fact there is something beyond corporations and beyond government, and that's people. And people in community. And people in community, not just as human community, I think the President's opening remarks put it so well, we have to now be deeply aware of the fact that we are members of the earth community. And in India, we've had a beautiful word to describe this, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the earth family. That all beings on this planet are one family. We were first made to think, no, only human beings. And then among human beings, only those who own property and wealth. And now we've reached this absurd situation that the only people who count are fictions. After all, corporations are a fiction. They've been given legal personality. And now they're the only people with real personhood. People don't count, trees don't count, rivers don't count. But I think this worldview is on its way out. Because other worldviews and other paradigms are increasing. When I wrote about Earth democracy, I was of course articulating how we practice our work of seed freedom, food freedom, water freedom, land freedom, forest freedom. These are the 5 freedoms on the basis of which Navdanya's work is evolved. And in every one of these freedoms, if it's water freedom, it's freedom for the river as much as freedom for people to have access to water of the river. And it's seed freedom, it's freedom of the seed, but it's also freedom of the farmers to be able to have their seed, save their seed, and that can only happen if you don't have patents on seed. And we now also have from around the world this new thinking that's sort of happening just all over the place. New language of the rights of nature. New language of the rights of Mother Earth. President Evo Morales, when he went back from the failed official summit of Copenhagen, announced that he would hold a people summit on climate change and the rights of Mother Earth. And I've been invited by the Bolivian government, but because of the volcano, of course I couldn't reach. But we're still working together on this universal declaration on the rights of Mother Earth, which would be a supplement to the Declaration on the Human Rights. The reason we have to recognize and defend the rights of Mother Earth is, in any case, that's an ethical duty. But now it is also a prerequisite for justice. Because if we do not protect the rights of Mother Earth, the poor, the marginal, will constantly be excluded from their share to her gifts. The president quoted Gandhi's famous saying. Of course, usually Gandhi's quote is translated into, there's enough on the earth for everyone's needs, but not for everyone's greed. Gandhi never said everyone's greed. He said there's enough on the earth for everyone's need, but not for a few people's greed. Because for the greedy, there's never enough. And we have an ancient text by which Gandhi was, of course, inspired, which says that the creation, this universe is the creation meant for the benefit of all, and each individual must therefore learn to enjoy its benefits, each individual life form, enjoy its benefits by forming a part of the larger system in close association with other species, and let not any one species encroach upon others' rights. And that was also about the human species. It goes on to say that it's the Isha Upanishad. A selfish man overutilizing the resources of nature to satisfy his own ever-increasing needs is nothing but a thief. Because using resources beyond one's needs would result in the utilization of resources over which others have rights. And the others could be other species, it could be other human beings, and most importantly on the issue of sustainability, future generations. That's why Native Americans had the idea of the seventh generation. In India too, in so many of our shlokas, we talk about testing every action against the seventh generation. Corporations work on 3 months profits. Politicians work on 4 to 5 years election terms. And we need the 7th generation time frame. I want to end by sharing with you a poem that has been a major inspiration for me, partly because people keep saying, everything's so horrible, everything is disgusting, and how can we have hope? This is why we must have hope. It's a poem from Palestine. Burn our land, burn our dreams, pour acid onto our songs, cover with sawdust the blood of our massacred people. Muffle with your technology the screams of all that is free, wild, and indigenous. Destroy. Destroy our grass and soil, raze to the ground every farm and every village our ancestors had built. Every tree, every home, every book, every law, and all the equity and harmony. Flatten with your bombs every valley, erase with your edicts our past, our literature, our metaphor. Denude the forests and the earth till no insect, no bird, no word can find a place to hide. Do that and more. I do not fear your tyranny. I do not despair ever, for I guard one seed, a little life seed that I shall safeguard and plant.